Yes.
One of a kind.
Sometimes you just have to face your problems. Just face them. And I know I've been there. I've swept them under the rug and just not dealt with them, and I have to deal with them later. My wife's like, "Look what you've done.
Look what you have done.
Look what you have done here. You made a mess." So then I have to clean it up. But it's easier just to ignore it.
That's part of a marriage, is you have to be accountable.
Yes.
It's a partnership.
Yes.
Carry the load. Carry your part of the load.
Well, it's embarrassing, when you hide things. And you don't want to deal with them, and then it's right in your face, and you're like, "What is this?" I don't know. I was gonna pay it, but I thought I'd pay it later, and it just got the best of me.
And I forgot it was there.
Yes.
That is so true.
Yes. So.
That is so true.
Learning from your mistakes. But yeah, you're not going to be perfect. We're going to make mistakes. Life is like that. I mean,
Maria's husband came over, and he pointed to this beautiful green lush thing that we have growing up next to the brick wall.
You're all proud of it. Look at mine.
And he said, "What do you want to do that?" And I said, "I don't know. What is it? It's so pretty." And he said, "It's a weed." And I said, "Oh, okay. Well, you can pull it up."
You're watering it, fostering it. That is marijuana, Cindy. I thought it was wild parsley.
So I told Jared, I said, that thing we've been watering is a weed. He goes, "Oh, but it was so pretty."
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
It had to go.
It came down?
Yeah, he got it. He took care of it. He took care of it.
So you're watering it, fostering it. This weed is... Oh, no, this plant is wonderful.
Because I kept thinking, I don't remember what I planted there.
Oh, that's hilarious. Hey, you didn't know? That's what you call the experts.
That's right.
I always call the experts.
Oh, I have so much work he could do.
It's nice when you get an expert and they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You feel like, oh, wait a second, let's do this. I think order is good.
I love order.
I wish I could have started my life in order. I wish I could have just done better in certain things, so I wouldn't have to pay the consequences later at some of the stuff I did.
Right.
Yes.
Well, no, there's great value in order.
There is, yeah.
Order makes everything smoother. It makes
right.
it all easier. And when you have order, you're not inviting chaos.
Right.
That's the thing.
Relationships are better. Things are just better. And we talk about this all the time on this podcast, the Real Podcast of Dallas. Because this is just, we just wanted to engage with the youth, families, and just people out there that maybe are not thinking that way.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking like, who do you think you are telling me what to do? We're not telling you what to do. We're just giving suggestions.
Francis Gobble-Shin says that order is heaven's first law. And I live by that.
Yes.
I really do.
And who's this again?
Francis Gobble-Shin. So she was like a metaphysician.
Oh, metaphysician.
And I love all of her books, everything she's ever written. She's dead now.
Oh.
I cherish her even more for that.
For dying.
Well, because I think some of the people that came before us were wiser than we are.
Definitely. Definitely. They worked different than we did.
Yes. So I really think that, they were living in truth and not always looking for a conspiracy.
Right.
And so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right? So I cherish a lot of their words of wisdom, and that's a lot of the kind of stuff that I like to read. And she's very inspiring to me, everything she ever wrote.
Right.
But I try to keep my papers and affairs in order. That way, I even think, like, if I die, everything's right here. It's all orderly. People can figure it out. My daughter, my husband, whatever. But I'm not looking for chaos. I don't like that kind of energy.
What about people who would say, well, nobody can be perfect, Cindy?
No, It can't be.
Is that perfection, what you're saying?
No. It's not perfection, but it gives me peace of mind.
There it is.
And I need that peace of mind.
Yes.
To know that I take care of today what you can, and don't put it off until tomorrow. If you can take care of it today, then take care of it today. You'll go to bed with that much more peace of mind.
Clarity. Peace of mind. Those of you that owe tickets and you haven't paid them, those of you who are not facing certain situations, maybe you have an addiction and you haven't really committed to your recovery. Maybe it's time to do that.
Right.
Maybe you need a new job. Maybe you haven't really committed into, doing what you have to do to move forward. Maybe going to school. Maybe fixing your resume. Something so simple as redoing your resume.
If you do your resume, then you're creating momentum.
Yes.
Because you're not going to just do your resume and then go, oh, it's done, and put it in a drawer. Now you got to do something with it.
Right.
So put it out there. Create some energy. Create some momentum. Momentum is powerful. Energy is powerful. There's energy around everything.
Right.
Everything. Good and bad.
Yes.
And like Leo said earlier, did you say it on the podcast? I mean, right is right.
Yes.
You know when you did right. If you don't feel, good about something you did, then you're not going to find peace with that.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, I think after all these years working in this field, working in recovery, it comes to that where it not that it's like what it takes to get there. And there's a lot of people who don't know. It's like what you say, you don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know.
And when you say that, it just resonates with me because I see that a lot with people. You don't know what you don't know, so ask.
Right.
So ask, listen. Don't shun it. I mean, the person that's giving you advice, that could be the advice that changes your life.
There's so many assumptions that we make based on what we know, but we're not looking at what we don't know.
Right.
And, there's so much. Somebody tells you something bad about somebody. Are you going to believe that, or are you going to find it out on your own?
Right.
Or somebody always is, they're an adult and they always act childish, or they always fall in a hole. What happened to them when they were growing up? Or why do your parents act that way?
Right.
Do you know about their parents? Have you ever asked your parents about their parents?
Yes.
My grandmother, she was crazy against alcohol.
Right.
You couldn't even walk past a sign or a Santa Claus drinking beer, because they used to have that back in the day.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't know until after she had died that she'd been raped by her father. He was drunk.
Oh.
He was drunk.
Wow.
And she was a child and she was raped by her father. And that just turned her completely against, alcohol. And so much so that she would embarrass us when we went out. She'd take me out as a little girl to a restaurant, and if they sat us next to the bar, even within visual distance, she'd chew out the waiter or waitress or whatever. But there's just so many different instances where you don't know what you don't know.
But you don't know, and it's interesting because sometimes we're judgmental with people, and we don't really know where they're coming from.
Right.
But to be fair, also, those of you that, have had a trauma, have had something like that, get some help, because you're trying to fix the future with what's happened in the past. You're trying to redirect the future so what you went through in the past, it doesn't happen again. You're trying to stop it, and no one knows what you've been through.
Right.
So to be fair, you've got to get some help, and I know it's very difficult. I know it's to relive a trauma is horrific.
Oh yes.
But the outcome of it is healthy thinking, healthy relationships, and I think a lot of times that our relationships are broken because of the past.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. That's pretty profound. And
Well, it's profound because I always just thought she was crazy. I mean, like, she would go full out crazy
Right.
sometimes. And then the irony, God bless her, is that she had 4 children, and 2 of her children became raging alcoholics who
Yes.
died of alcoholism.
Yeah.
But her father was an alcoholic, and
Right.
it was a genetic, predisposition that her
Yeah.
children had towards
I
alcoholism.
think this show right here, Cindy, it just came to me. I think this should be a break off of the Real Podcast of Dallas, because we're going into what we would want it to also do, talk about recovery, talk about mental health, but more of an adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for the adults that are out there listening, we do talk to kids, but a lot of times the adults need something also where we can have a forum for this. We have had a lot of traumas in our past, and people in addiction, people in mental health, sometimes need something like this so they can hear it and have fun with it.
Well, and finding out, why you are the way you are. You were raised a
Right.
certain way, and
Yes.
maybe your parent calls you names and, beats you or hits you too hard,
Right.
whatever. And have you ever had the opportunity to ask your parents about their parent or how
Right.
they were raised?
Yes.
If you look, sometimes you'll see that that's what the cycle is repeating itself.
Right, where they think that that's the correct way.
And you don't have to be,
Yes.
how you were raised or taught. You can change that.
You can change it. And you have a right. You have a right
Yes.
to do that. You have a right to be different. You have a right to put boundaries. You have a right. See, those are the rights you should be fighting for, not the right for you to disrupt other people's peace.
Right. Right.
And I think people get it mixed up. That they're hurting. They're hurting. So outwardly, they'll get in a relationship, and sometimes not on purpose, but then they don't understand, and they want it to be their way or the highway.
Exactly.
Or they jump on an airplane, and there's things they're dealing with that they haven't dealt with. Maybe claustrophobia. Maybe some anxiety. So
Oh, yes.
a lot of the stuff that you see on the internet, if they would just reword it, how would I say it? This person suffers from anxiety. This is what happened, or
Right.
a client was this and they reacted because of their anxiety, or this is what depression looks like. We would be more understanding instead of
Yes.
oh,
And
they're
you knew the
just
story.
yeah. Because that's what it is a lot of times, and it's an anxiety.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm always, I don't know, it's always shocking when you find out something about a person that you didn't know.
Right.
And you're like, I didn't know that I didn't know.
Right. Yes.
And then it makes you try to be a little less judgmental.
Yes.
And think, well, maybe I don't have all the information. Maybe I don't have all the puzzle pieces.
Well, that's where the forgiving comes in.
Yes.
We want to be forgiving, loving, and kind. And that's where it comes from when you start realizing, oh, there's more to this than what I thought.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And you know what this music means, Cindy.
Yes.
We've had a really good dialogue. We've had
It means
a really
I'm going to
good-
be going to get my pets.
I'm so sorry that you're going through that. I wish you well.
Thank you.
We'll be thinking of you.
And maybe we'll do it again tomorrow.
Yes, we'll do this again tomorrow. So
I'll get out my book and get some other of my favorite quotes. 'Cause
Yes.
I have lots of them.
we said we'd do this, and we're doing it.
I have lots of them.
Yes, and we're almost at 1,300 downloads.
That's incredible.
Yes, so keep listening to the Real Podcast of Dallas. Catch us on Google us.
If you don't listen to us tomorrow, happy 4th.
Yes, happy 4th. Maybe we'll do a little bit of 4th of July music or something
Yeah.
to honor this country. But anything you want to say to anybody out there?
Just peace and goodwill towards all. Meet people where they're at We're not all at the same place or in the same place.